For those of you that are new here, we are a family that bought 140 acres off the grid in Australia. And today we're setting up for our filtration system on our tank. But before we show you that, I just wanted to introduce you to our newest family member. She was originally in a rescue shelter and her name was Shiloh. But since then, we've renamed her Truffles. She's a lab cross and she's a little bit of a scaredy cat, but she's fitting into our family really well. And Paul's been calling her Ratty because she is so small and tiny and skinny. She's pretty cute when she's sleeping because when she's awake, we're trying to toilet train her or she's chewing up our things. We've had her for a week now and she's started to gain weight already, so that's really good. So rainwater from a tank where the water comes straight off the roof can be quite fine for drinking water. We just wanted to add some filtration system to ours to make sure that we got as much bad stuff out of it as possible.
Okay then, well, today I'm just going to assemble our 3 filter housing. We didn't get our UV light, but I'll assemble these 3. So these 3 filter housings will house 3 different types of filters that will filter our water tank water so we can drink it. So today all I'm going to need to use is some thread tape to make sure the seals are nice and tight and nothing's going to leak, a shifter, adjustable spanner, and probably a Phillips screwdriver. So we've got the 3 housings there, and this is the 3 housing bracket, a couple of joiner plugs, we'll get a bit of thread tape on these first. I'm using the pink thread tape, it's a bit heavier duty. And I just want it to go over the thread, not over the rubber seal.
So rainwater needs to be free of disease-causing microorganisms like bacteria and viruses and harmful levels of chemicals to ensure that it's safe drinking water. So we just want to make sure that we don't have any contamination of the rainwater from birds or other animals. You can just disinfect the water, but it doesn't actually remove the chemicals from the water though.
So there's one with the sealants, all the seal done, and I haven't gone over the little black seals in the middle, so that's one done.
Things like lead can be found in rainwater systems due to leaching from the roofing material or from roofing screws and washers and things like that, and it can also be present in some grades of PVC piping, especially the old stuff.
Okay, that's the second joiner done. Now we've just got the two end pieces.
So our water filtration treatment system is going to include the polypropylene and ceramic cartridges, as well as an activated carbon cartridge as well.
So these joiner bits here don't have rubber seals on the end of them, so I'm just going to layer them up with a decent bit of thread tape just to make sure we don't get any leaks. Don't want to waste any water.
So with the polypropylene and ceramic cartridge filters, these can be effectively used to treat water by removing sediment and bacteria, but they won't remove viruses.
So now we're just going to join them. So just got to make sure on the top there we've got an in and an out. So we want them all making sure they go the same way. because if you don't want an in and an out or an out and an in, you've got to have into out, into out. So what I'll do is, this can be our inlet from the tank, so I'm going to put the big connector on. Just make sure we get in there. Make sure that's nice and tight. Okay. So that's the inlet. So that's the first filter. That will be the polyspun filter. So then we go out from the polyspun. Just give that a little tighten up with this shifter.
So we might need to replace this first cartridge probably every 6 months or so.
Nice. So that's the inlet, polyspun. We're going into the next filter now, which will be the carbon filter. So I just got to make sure the out matches the in. Beautiful. And we do the next one. Don't want them too tight. And again, we just want to make sure the out goes with the in. If you get these backwards, you'll have no water flow. Okay, so there's the 3 and 9 housings. Next, we're just going to put the outlet.
So the activated carbon filter will be effective in removing and reducing chemicals such as iron and hydrogen sulfide, any bad tastes and odours and colour, but won't be able to remove bacteria or viruses either.
Okay, so that's the 3 housings. So now we sit our bracket on. And we line our bracket up. So as you can see, the water tank will be here. It will pump into this one. So water in, water out of that filter, which is the polyspun filter. Water in to the carbon filter, water out of the carbon filter, water into the ceramic filter, water out of the ceramic filter, water into our shed, and then into the UV filter, and that will give us drinkable water. So I'm just going to get this screwed up.
So with our 3 filters in this part of the filtration system, the smaller the micron size, the finer the filtration, the greater reduction of the flow rate and available pressure through the filter as well.
And surely they all fit in there nicely.
You can also disinfect the water with chlorine, but it needs to be regularly tested, sometimes daily, to check whether it's safe in the drinking supply. So we're also going to use a UV disinfection cartridge, which is basically ultraviolet light irradiation. It's effective against most bacteria and viruses. They require relatively low maintenance and don't need any addition of any chemicals or anything like that. They can also include warning alarms to let you know that the equipment is failing.
So, got all that screwed up. Got our double O-ring housings, and now I can install the filters.
And as you can see, we're just camping in our tents in the shed at the moment.
Okay, so this filter here, let's see if we've got any microns on it. That's a 1 micron polypropylene replacement cartridge. So it's a polyspun cartridge, they call it. It's just got heaps of spun polycarbonate. So we're going to put that in the bottom and make sure it lines up over top of the hole. So as you can see down the bottom, you can see it's lined up in the hole there. And that's the polyspun, so that's the first filter that goes from the tank.
So if you're anything like me and you've never heard of a micron before, I'll just give you some examples of what that means in a minute.
Into the filters. Then the second cartridge is your carbon cartridge.
So the micron in these cartridges means that the size of the holes in the filters.
And this one is a 5 micron carbon cartridge. So same thing, we want to make sure the hole at the bottom's lined up with the hole there. So we're going to put that in, line the hole up. Line that up there. And there is a tool to tighten these and do them, but I haven't got that right now, so it's all right. And we've got a spare carbon filter, and then the last one is a ceramic filter.
So if you can think of a piece of sand measures 100 to 1000 microns, the strand of a human hair is 100 microns, and dust is around 1 micron. And a virus is around 0.01 microns or smaller.
So this filter is a ceramic filter, and they say after a little while, when these block up a little, you can actually just give them a light sand, and it will take off the any of the gunk that's there. So yeah, let's put this in place. So we line the hole up again. Make sure the rubber seals on nice. There we go. And it's now located and done up. So there is our 3 filter housing: polyspun, carbon and ceramic. And then from there we can either set our UV system on top here, that will run through 12 volt, and then or we can have that inside and run it inside. So this housing will be attached to the wall outside the shed.
So our Aqua Pro ultraviolet light filter arrived, and we're pretty excited to set it up. So is Poppy. So hopefully the UV light will pick up any of the bacteria and viruses that these filters don't pick up. We'll be finalising the whole setup in the next few weeks, so keep on watching, and thanks for joining us.